as Dash of Dave. He'll take some scraps and bits of this, turn them into something you can't miss. Junk journals, tapes, and crafts galore. He'll have you begging, show me more. Oh, Dash of Dave, oh, what a sight. Mixing colors, day and night.
Hi everyone, it's Dash of Dave here, and I am back for another crafty video. So today we are going to make this, which I have called a Latch Key Folio. Okay, so it's not immediately obvious why it's called that, but we will see in a moment. So this, I made a prototype of this. So I made, I always make one out of white card. So this is my prototype one. And then moved on to making this finished one. Today we're just going to make the base of it, and we might decorate it in a Finish It Friday at some point. So how does this work? So what we have is at the moment we just have a classic folio that you can put all sorts of pockets in. I've just put a pocket in the front of here. How you decorate it is entirely up to you. I've put a pocket here. We just have a page here, but again you could put a pocket and another pocket, or a tuck, or a band, or whatever. Then we have this page here, okay, that just flips over. I know it looks a bit thick, and you'll see why in a moment. We have another pocket, another place here where you could put a pocket, or just a journal space. Another space here for another pocket, and again another pocket that I've done on the back here. Okay, so once we have done that, let's put that back in there, Dave. Okay, we're going to open it back up again, and then you'll see why this is there in the middle. So this bit pulls out, and this is a journal. So in here we have a little journal. You can make it as thick as you like, or well, obviously not too thick, otherwise the whole thing won't close. But how many times have we been guilty of that as crafters, making things that don't close? So these are just my digitals, in case you're wondering. So lots of my digitals feature in this finished result. So that's a little folio inside, and then what we have here is we have this bit that we pull out. So this is our latch key. So that comes out. Remember, you've got a nice little folio there. You could have multiple pockets on it, etc. And then what happens is this then opens out, and this again, you could have more pockets on here. You could have a secret journaling space here. You could have more pockets on the back. Some of these places have been left blank so that I've got something to do on a Finish It Friday, I guess. So that's how we make that's our latch key, and I will show you how to make this. So we're going to pop that back onto there, and we will pop this back inside here. Again, this just slides into the middle here. Oh, actually, make sure that that's completely down first. And it's just a little bit of more interactivity, that I know that you guys absolutely love a bit of interactivity. So this came about as kind of an evolution from my tab journal that I made. I made the tab journal, the really big chunky one that has slightly concertinaed spine. It's an evolution from that. So how do we make it? So what you will need is you'll need some pieces of card, because obviously if we're going to need to make it, we're going to need some card. I've used file folder simply because of the size of this. Now you can make it smaller, larger. You just scale it up, scale it down, whatever you need. So what we're going to make today, by the way, is this measures 6 inches by 7.5 inches, the outer folio does anyway. So to make the same size as mine, you're going to need a piece of card that measures 7.5 by 11.75. Now I've used a file folder simply because this gives me a bigger size to work with. So I've got 7.5 by 11.75, and then I've got another piece that measures 7.5 again, but this time by 12.25. So 7.5 by 12.25. So you'll be able to see that now. If you put those two together, it's 1/4 inch bigger at one end. So, and then you've got two pieces that are exactly the same size, and these measure 7.5 by 11. So 7.5 by 11. Okay. And now we are going to score them. So first of all, we're going to work with our piece of card that is the smaller one. Okay, So this is the one that measures 7.5 by 11 3/4, and we're going to get our scoreboard, because I use a scoreboard. If you don't use a scoreboard, you're just using, you know, measurements and the back of a pair of scissors. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make any difference. It's not like you need a classic score line in any way. It's just giving you a place to fold something. So when we're looking at this, okay, we are going to score it at its, so the middle bit, so the middle bit that we are going to is going to be the bit where everything tucks into, this bit here. So this, it's going to be the same orientation as this. So this is going to be the narrower piece, and this is going to be the back panel. So you want to make sure that your piece of card is the right way up and facing the way that you want to be on the inside of your journal, okay? Because remember, we're going to make a score line that's going to create a valley fold, and we're going to fold from there. So that means then the back of this will be the back, okay? So this score line is going to be at 5.5. So we're going to put the first score line in at 5.5, okay? And that is the only score line we have on this piece of paper, on this piece of card, okay? We're going to put that to one side, and now we're going to take our slightly larger piece, and you can tell it's 12.25 because it hangs off the edge of my 12-inch scoreboard. But we're not worried about this end because we're not doing anything with that end. And this time, again, you want it the same right orientation, but the piece that you're going to score first is going to be your front cover, okay, with the end part of it being your middle locking section, okay? So we're going to put a score line first at 1/2 inch on this bit here. What have I just said to you? So no, the first part of it, sorry, is going to be the locking mechanism, and the last part is going to be your front cover. So your locking mechanism, so remember, so it's going to be 1/2 inch score line first, and that's the thing that's going to join it to this other piece of card, okay? And then we want to score it at 6 1/8. So that's your 6/6 inch line. On this, my little notches are all in 1/8 of an inch, so I'm going to go over 1/8, so 6 1/8, and put a line in there, okay? So then what that's going to do is that's going to form me the front cover, the narrower piece and where it joins. And on this one, we've got the narrower piece and the back cover, okay? And these two pieces are going to join together through this connection here, okay? So I will take those off. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take both of these pieces of card, and these are both going to be scored at the same place. So you're going to put them on your scoreboard, okay, and you're going to score them at, remember these measure 11, so you're going to score these at 5.5, and that will give you the middle line. That's 5.5 there, and then 5.5 here. So you can have whatever colour you like. I just thought it would be fun to give some colour to my finished project this time. So 5.5 on that one. And I'm going to put that down, get it out of the way. Okay, so all we're going to do now is just going to put those score lines in. So I'm just going to fold them over and just kind of straighten them up as you're folding. Get your scoring tool and just fold those bits in. Okay, so that's one piece. Fold it over again, fold it this way. Just make sure it's nice and straight. That's that piece. Then this is the piece that measures 11 3/4 by 7.5, and we're going to fold this piece in. And again, we just want to make sure that this sits nice and straight. That just means that bits of it don't drop out of the middle, or it lines up nicely, it folds nicely. So that's that piece, and we're going to put that to one side. And then this is the piece where we've got the 1/2 inch line, and then we've got the 6 1/8 line. So first of all, let's fold this smaller piece in, fold it over, and just put that line in, and then this line again, just making sure it all lines up nicely and it's nice and true and square. I'll put that line in and score it. Okay, so getting a bit warm, so pull my sleeves up. Okay, so what you should have is this should be folded so that the middle bit is shorter than the outer bit. So what you should have is your front covers should marry up, which they do, and these other pieces should sit inside each other and therefore be able to join together like this. You're not going to join it like that though, so please just don't do it straight away. You just wanted to make sure that this cut panel is the same as this panel with the folded over bit, which is the score line should be in the same sort of place. It may be 1/8 of an inch shorter, and that's because we're taking into account the fold here. So you should have got just slight fraction difference. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut these pieces down. Okay, so to be able to make the various pieces, so you can decide which piece you want as your front and your back and how you have it joined, but this piece is going to be smaller. So the larger panel is your front or your back cover. So in this case, so it's on the left hand side on this one, on the left hand side on this one. So that's either my front or my back cover. Okay, and this is my front or back cover, and then they're going to join from the shorter piece in the middle. Okay, so these front covers are the bigger side, so that's why we're not folding it directly in half. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please say, and I will try and clarify for you. Okay, I'm not very good at clarifying, to be fair. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make this bit shorter. Okay, and as you can see here, this drops down. It drops down by 1.5 inches either side. So you can make it narrower. You can absolutely have a narrower band. You can have a slightly wider band. You could have the band the full width and have the whole piece that locks it all into place completely hidden. If you are going to do that, I would suggest you put a thumb notch in it so you can actually get whatever it is in it out. But I'm going to stick to my plans here. So I'm going to come in 1.5 inches. I remember on the shorter piece, so fold it again just to check. This is the shorter piece. I'm going to come in 1.5 inches. Now all I want to do is put it on my grid on my mat, and I want to mark where 1.5 inches is on there. So I'm going to find that, so this is my 1 inch and this is my 1.5 inch line that we're looking at. We're not looking at the numbers, we're just looking at the line marking. Okay, and we're going to draw a line, remember, on the shorter part. Get that nice and straight-ish. I'm going to draw a line on there, and again we're going to marry this up to a line that we can see. So I think that was already on a line. It was. So this is my 1.5. That's the line I'm guided to, and we're going to, again, from the folded line, not on the bigger part on the cover, we're going to put a line across there. Okay, so that's that one. Put that to one side, and we'll get the other piece. And this time we're going to use the piece where it joins. So this one's easier to tell which is the bit that joins because it's got the extra fold on it. So again, line it up to a line on your mat. Get it nice and square. Find your 1.5 inch line. 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. And again, put a line across there. Okay. And then we're going to do the same on this end. 1 inch, 1.5 inch. That's my 1.5 inch line. And again, we're going to put a line there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut these lines. Now you can either cut them with a pair of scissors if you prefer to cut with a pair of scissors, or you can cut with a blade, which I prefer to do. Just I'm so used to using a blade. I know that I do sometimes look like I'm going to cut something off, but hopefully not. Not today, please. So from the folded line right the way off to the edge, and again on this side from the folded line all the way off to the edge. So you can be thrown out by the printing on some of these file folders because they're not always straight, or you might have cut them slightly out of orientation. So don't worry about it. Don't focus on the letters. Focus on the squareness of the card. Okay. So then, what you want to do from the cut line out on the fold, or this time I'm going to do it the other way around and up to that cut line. Just be careful if you're doing it this way because you don't want to cut into the rest of the card, and then those pieces should then come out, which they do. Then we're going to take this piece, and remember, if you just want to check, okay, this is the shorter piece. We know that now. We're just double checking before we cut anything. If we've made a mistake, we can always rub this line out and put it in the right place. But no, it's in the right place, so get it on that line. And again, from the fold out, from the fold out. Sorry if my head is in the way. I have to be able to see what I'm doing so that I don't cut something off. Well, I mean, obviously I want to cut the card off. I just want to cut my head off, or I don't think it'd take more than this to cut my head off. But I'm sure there's a way. I don't even want to find out that way. I don't cut any fingers off either, so okay, so we're just going to put those to one side. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join them. Okay, so the bit that, so I've turned them this way round. Okay, the bit that is on your right hand side is going to be the piece that is going to be the front part of your file folder. So if you see this, so I'm not going to pull it completely out, but this is the way it joins. So this is the piece that if you've got anything on there you really know that you're going to see, then that's the piece that you really want to be the right way up, and this piece you don't have to worry about because it's going to be the back. Okay, but this is how we're going to join it. Okay, so we're going to join it on this piece here. We're going to flip it over, and what we're going to do is we're going to join it so that, let's just put that, I'm going to put that line in pencil so that you can see it. So this is the score line that we did. You don't need to do this. This is just so that you can see what I'm doing more clearly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these together so that this becomes the tab to attach it to here. Now, on this one, I can't show you because without taking it apart, but what I did was I just rounded these corners, and that way then, because it's folding and unfolding and you're sliding things in and sliding things out, you're less likely to have fluffy ears on the corner. So I just rounded the corner just because it neatens it all off a little bit, but you don't need to do this. It's not a requirement. It's all going to work beautifully if you don't do that bit. So we're going to glue these two pieces together. We just want to check that if we are butting this up to a crease, that we don't go too far past that score line and stop it from folding over. So we'll pop it on, because if you sit it across the score line, when you go to pull this bit up, you'll find that the card will buckle. Let's actually do that so that you can see. You'll do this and you'll find that it's not going because it's sitting across the score line. So you want to pull it further back until it lines up, and then you want to just check that that's going to sit in there nicely, butting this up against this piece here. And when you fold it over, you just want to make sure that kind of lines up. Don't worry if the front and the back card piece don't classically line up just yet. They will do, and you will be fine. So okay, so there we go. Let's get this glued down. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put glue on the tab, or maybe not. Let's see. Don't misbehave just because you're on the telly. On the telly, I think it's that's a Britishism, isn't it? So the telly, maybe it should go in my words thing. Oh, if you haven't seen, I've released some words. So we've got some words out there that are, we've got lexicon, and we have which is a kit of, just want to make sure it's square. So we've got lexicon, which is kit of so this is, let's just do this. So this is lexicon, and this, don't worry about the printing here. This, the light colour one, is called dashisms. They're both exactly the same words. They are just in different colours. They're just called different things so that you can find them. So if I say I'm using lexicon, I'm using the black one with the coloured letters, and you'll notice that the letters, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. No, sorry about that, I sneezed. You'll notice that the letters on this one, don't worry about this. This is because the printer ink ran out, which is always the way, isn't it? When you're going to put something on screen, it's always the one that's going to be the one that's on screen. So I could just like tuck it away and you'll never know it's there. So, and the same with this. I'd already started printing something else, and it then died, and I put the paper back in and forgot about it, and then I ended up overprinting. Anyway, so this is lexicon. This is they're like mottled coloured letters on a black background, and you can cut these out. I haven't cut them out because you could also tear them and have like a torn mottled edge as well. Or let's just move that one so that we don't have to keep looking at that one with the severed heads on it. So, or then there's this is dashisms, and they are Britishisms. So remember, so the dashisms, because they are me being British, I spell colour with a U. So there may be some slight spelling deviations, and I have been told that one of the words is spelt incorrect, and that is dictionary. I've missed an I out of it. So how ironic that I missed the I out of dictionary. I need a dictionary to be able to spell it. So oh no, hang on, that one's spelled right. D-I-C-T-I-O-N-A-R-Y. Yeah, that's right. I don't know, it might be this then set that's got the wrong spelling. You watch it be on that page that's got the severed heads on it. So oh yeah, it's this one. For some reason, this doesn't have the I in it. I don't know. They came from the same file, so I don't know how that I managed that. Anyway, you can cut them out. They're on my Ko-fi. Go and find them. So, sorry for the advert in the middle of this. So, now we've stuck these two pieces together. What we've got is we've got our front page. We've got our interlocking thing here. This time we're going to fold this now back the other way, and then we've got our back cover. Okay, so these all sit together like this. So we've got the front page, we've got the middle interlocking bit, and we've got the back page. Okay, I'm going to put those to one side, because then what we're going to do is pick which one we want to be the locking mechanism. So if we look again at the finished article here, we've got this is the journal piece, this is the locking mechanism. So this is the first of the journal pieces, and then this is the signature. So which piece do we want to be here? I think we're going to go with the red. So this is going to be our piece that sits on here, that locks it all into place, and then this is the piece that's going to feed into this piece here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to again make some markings on this piece of card. We want to come in from the edge 1.5 inches from the edge and put a pencil mark. So this is the piece that's going to be our locking mechanism, remember. So we've got 1.5. Okay, so where the 1/2 inch mark is, what you want to do is you want to come just a fraction, like we're talking about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the 1.5 inch mark. So if we were, let's get this ruler. So we've got 1.5 inch mark is here. Sorry, I had a moment there where I thought, is that the 1.5 inch mark? But it is. and then what we want to do is like just an 1/8 or a 1/16 of an inch we want to come down. Actually a 1/16 of an inch is what we really need, so that is this mark here. And what that means is then this slot will be slightly wider than this piece of card, which means that you'll be able to fit things in and take them off very easily. And we'll do that again with actually using the ruler rather than the lines on the board. So that's our 1.5 inch mark. So we're going to go down 1/16 there, and we're going to put a line there. And we're going to turn it round, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a very small piece out. So first of all, what we'll do is let's just, where we've made those pencil marks, we're just going to turn them into just a notch on that spine, just a notch. Okay, then we'll put this back on here, and we're going to cut between those two notches out. But all you want is, we're talking about a 30, is it a 32nd of an inch? I don't know, 32th of an inch. I don't know whether that works. It's about 1 millimetre we're talking about. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to cut that spine off. Just again, between those marks. Now, if you're not quite sure where that mark is, pick your blade up and just check so you don't go too far. Okay, gone a little bit too far on that one, but never mind. Okay, I'm going to cut those bits off. Okay, again, you just want to make sure that's gone all the way through those two pieces of card, and we're going to cut that bit off. And then that should give you, if you take this piece off now, that should give you that slot inside. Now, if you see here, it's not completely opened up, so you can just go in there with a pair of scissors and just cut that bit off. But you just want a slot. You don't want a big hole, otherwise the whole thing will just be very unstable. So you just want a slot. Oh, see that? I've still not managed to cut that through, have I? There you go. We've got that slot now. What that means is then that should sit on there, drop down, and then it should sit, because you've measured it the same from the top and the bottom, it should sit within the middle. If it does slightly hang down, just cut the very bottom edge off, or the very top edge off. Okay, so that's our latch mechanism. Okay, and now what we need to do, this is our key. So this is going to fit in here. Okay, so what you'll find is you might find that it's a little bit tight. So that might go in there like that. It might be a little bit tight. Okay, if it is a little bit tight, then all you need to do is take the very edge of the open edge. This is the fold, so not the fold bit, because you'll end up with two pieces of card rather than a folded piece of card otherwise. And we're going to take that off. And we're just going to pop that back in there. So you will find you might need to cut it down again when you put some signatures in it. I'm not going to put the signatures in because you know how to make a little folio. So you just make your 3-hole pamphlet stitch and just sew in the pieces of paper that you want. But the chunkier that this gets, the more you might have to just cut this open edge down so that it fits into here. Oh, I've just noticed that my glued bit has moved a little bit, but yours will be perfect because you won't be on camera worrying about it. So then this will fold up like this, and this folds like this, And remember, this is all nicely tucked together. Okay, then the only way to open it out fully is take this piece out, your key, undo your latch, okay, and then fold it out. So that is, oh, I've just realised that I'm advertising Tango now. That is your Latch Key Folio, and that's the very basics. Now obviously you can decorate it, you can make it look however you like, and I will just talk through a few other things. So you could put a pocket here, pocket here, pocket here, pocket on the front of this, pocket on the front of that, pocket here, pocket here, pocket here, pocket on the back, pocket on the front, pocket within the pocket. So many pockets you won't know what to do with. So there you go, that is my Latch Key Folio, and that is going to go into my Finish It Friday pile, ready to be finished. So we'll just re-look at the one that I finished. Here's the one I made earlier. Move them out of the way. So again, I've just put a pocket on the front and a pocket on the back, but you can put as many in as you like. This slides out to the middle. This is my little notebook. That slides back into there. Or we can take it off completely and open it out, and you can have a nice secret journaling space that only those that are in the know how to get to. So there we go. That is another Make It Monday. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that's something you might give a go of. Once you've done that technique, it will open the door to some of the other things that will be coming soon. So sorry, I had to cut the video because I burped, and it's not it's not very classy. So there you go. That's my Latch Key Folio, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it's something you might give a go of. And if you do, please do let me know. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share, comment, subscribe if you aren't already. My name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And if you want to buy any of these kits, they come in the 2 different styles. If you want to buy them, they're over on my Ko-fi page, and I will link that in the description. All right then, folks, take care. Lots of love from me. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs. And I'll see you very soon. Bye. Bye.